This section is on linear equation word problems, and you will be using the point slope and slope intercept forms of a line to set up and solve word problems. In this section, you will learn how to determine what word problems can be solved using a linear equation, and use the information in the problem to create a linear equation and solve it. When to use linear equations. When you are given word problems in which something changes at a constant rate, something is growing at the same rate, being used at the moving at the same rate, and so forth, and you have data that can be arranged in ordered pairs, see if you can solve the problem by creating a linear equation. In creating equations, you will often need to find the slope. And if you are given two ordered pairs, find the slope using the slope formula. Recall that if you have two numbers, let's say x1, y1 and x2, y2, the formula for the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Also know that a constant rate is often a slope and that per indicates a rate. If you are paid $8 per hour, the slope will be 8 in problems like this. And if something is growing at 2 inches per year, 2 will be the slope. If you need help finding the slope, review the section on slopes. Example 1. Charlie and his family are living through another Florida hurricane. Their electricity has been off for 3 straight days. When Charlie lights a candle, it is 6 inches high. After 2 hours, it is 4 inches high. If the candle burns at a constant rate, how tall will it be after burning for 3 hours? The height of the candle is decreasing at a constant rate, and whatever that rate is will be the slope. The data can be expressed in ordered pairs. At time t equals 0, before the candle is lit, the candle is 6 inches high, the ordered pair is 0, 6. At time t equals 2, after the candle's been burning for 2 hours, the candle is 4 inches high, the ordered pair is 2, 4. And we're using the point slope form y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Find the slope by substituting into the slope formula. When we do that, we obtain 4 minus 6 over 2 minus 0. That's negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. Substituting into the point slope form gives us y minus 6 equals negative 1 times x minus 0. Simplifying gives y minus 6 equals negative 1x, or just negative x. We can add 6 to both sides and get y equals negative x plus 6. Notice that the slope is negative 1 and that the y-intercept is positive 6. Here is a graph of y equals negative x plus 6, where the horizontal axis is the time t and the vertical axis is the height of the candle. Notice that this line segment has the point 0, 6, meaning that at time 0 the candle is 6 inches high. It also has the point 6, 0, meaning after the candle has burned for 6 hours it is burned down completely and is now 0 inches high. Example 2. Rhonda is saving money for a trip to a cheerleading competition. Her grandmother gives her $100 and she gets a job babysitting for $6 an hour. Write an equation in slope-intercept form to describe how much money she has at any given time. She is earning money at the rate of $6 per hour, and that will be her slope. The first ordered pair is 0, 100, because at time t equals 0, before she started working at all, she has $100 from her grandmother. This is the y-intercept. For this problem, use the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Substituting gives us y equals 6x plus 100. Here are some practice problems for you to try. Pause the DVD after each problem. When you are done, come back for the answer. Practice problem 1. When a tree is planted, it stands 7 inches tall. After 3 years, it stands 40 inches tall. Assuming the tree grows at a constant rate, how tall will the tree be after 10 years? The answer is 117 inches. Ordered pairs are 0, 7, and 3, 40. Substituting into the slope formula tells us the slope is 11. The equation is y minus 7 equals 11 times x minus 0. If we simplify and then add 7 to both sides, we have y equals 11x plus 7. Now we're asked how tall the tree is after 10 years, therefore we replace x with 10. This gives us y equals 11 times 10 plus 7, which equals 110 plus 7, or 117 inches. Practice problem 2. Charlie's young cousin Brian is 50 inches tall when he is 8 years old. He is 60 inches tall when he is 12. If he continues to grow at the same rate, how tall will he be when he is 14? The answer to practice problem 2 is that he will be 65 inches tall. Ordered pairs are 850, meaning that at 8 years old he's 50 inches tall, and 1260, meaning that when he's 12, he's 60 inches tall. The slope is 2.5, and the equation is y minus 50 equals 2.5 times x minus 8. This becomes y minus 50 equals 2.5x minus 20. We simplify by adding 50 to both sides. This gives us y equals 2.5x plus 30. Now we use this equation to actually answer the question. We're asked how tall he is at age 14. Therefore, we replace x with 14. This gives us y equals 2.5 times 14 plus 30, which gives us 35 plus 30, or 65 inches. Practice problem 3. When Joshua was 8, he weighed 68 pounds. When he was 10, he weighed 80 pounds. If he continues to grow at the same rate, how much will he weigh when he is 12 years old? He will weigh 92 pounds. The ordered pairs are 8, 68, and 10, 80. The slope is 6. The equation becomes y minus 80 equals 6 times x minus 10. Notice that I use 10 and 80 instead of 8 and 68 because it's arithmetically easier. This equation becomes y equals 6x plus 20. We replace x with 12. Y equals 6 times 12 plus 20, which is 72 plus 20, or 92. Practice problem 4. Jessica is selling Girl Scout cookies. After 1 hour, she has sold 5 boxes, and after 3 hours, she has sold 15 boxes. Write a linear equation to describe this situation. In point-slope form, the answer is y minus 5 equals 5 times x minus 1, or in slope-intercept form, it's y equals 5x, and the intercept b is understood to be 0. The slope m is 5 because she sells 5 boxes per hour. Use the ordered pair 1, 5. This gives us in point-slope form y minus 5 equals 5 times x minus 1. Simplifying gives us y minus 5x equals 5x minus 5. We can add 5 to both sides and obtain the value y equals 5x. Practice problem 5. Charlie is doing a study of Florida's rainfall during hurricanes. Fortunately, he picked a good year because that year 4 hurricanes hit Florida. During Hurricane Jeanne, 1.5 inches fell during the first 1/2 hour. If the rain continues to fall at a constant rate, how much rain falls in 5 hours? The answer to practice problem 5 is 15 inches, and we're using the equation y equals 3x. Find the slope using the ordered pairs 0, 0, meaning that at time t equals 0, no rain has fallen, and 1/2, 1.5, meaning that after 1/2 hour, 1.5 inches of rain have fallen. Substituting into the slope formula gives us 1.5 minus 0 over 1/2 minus 0. That equals 3. The equation becomes y minus 0 equals 3 times x minus 0, or y equals 3x. Since we're asked how much rain has fallen after 5 hours, we replace x with 5. This gives y equals 3 times 5, or 15 inches. Practice problem 6. When the stock exchange opens, a stock is valued at $8. After 2 hours of trading, the stock is valued at $5. Assuming the stock price changes at a constant rate, what is the price of the stock after 3.5 hours of trading? The answer to practice problem 6 is the stock will be worth $2.75. The ordered pairs are 0, 8, which means that before trading started for the day, at time t equals 0, the stock is worth $8, and 2, 5, which means after 2 hours of trading, the stock was worth $5. Substituting into the slope formula tells us that the slope is negative 1.5. The equation is y minus 8 equals negative 1.5 times x minus 0. Simplifying gives y equals negative 1.5x plus 8. After 3.5 hours of trading, the stock is worth this. Y equals negative 1.5, which is a slope. We replace x with 3.5 plus 8. This is equal to negative 5.25 plus 8, which is $2.75. Practice problem 7. A student is saving money for college. His grandmother gives him a $500 savings bond for a Christmas present. Afterwards, he gets a job for $7 an hour at the car wash. Write a linear equation describing how much money the student will have if he works for h hours. The answer is y equals 7h plus 500. We are already given the slope. It's 7. It's that constant rate of his hourly pay. Remember that a slope indicates a rate of increase, and the wages increase by a constant $7 per hour. The y-intercept is 0, 500, because when he's worked for 0 hours, he already has that $500 savings bond. In slope-intercept form, this is y equals 7h plus 500. Practice problem 8. A kid is selling magazine subscriptions door to door. He earns $5 for each subscription sold. If he sells more than 10 subscriptions, he earns a bonus of $2 for each additional subscription. Write an equation describing how much money he makes. Let n equal the number of subscriptions and assume he sells more than 10 subscriptions. The answer to practice problem 8 is 50 plus 7, and in parentheses, n minus 10. The money made by selling the first 10 subscriptions is 10 times 5, which is 50. Now we need to think about the money made by selling any number of subscriptions greater than 10. That will be 7 times n minus 10. Notice that 7 is the amount of money he makes per subscription, and n minus 10 is the number of subscriptions over 10. Notice that we must subtract 10 from n because those first 10 subscriptions do not earn the seller $7, but only $5. The total money earned, M, is the amount of money earned by selling the first 10 subscriptions, plus the total amount of money earned by selling the additional subscriptions after 10. This is M equals 50 plus 7 times n minus 10.